Welcome back to episode 3 of Slot Cars, What Character? And I like to feature cars that don't really get talked about enough. When people think slot cars, there's different clubs that race cars, and mostly it's, the different types of race cars and actual road cars. And that's what you see a lot of. These are the ones that are on the fringes, that these are very highly collectible and a lot of fun, great for kids, very unusual cars. In this series, in this episode, I'd like to talk about the Disney Pixar cars from those movies. And I have to admit, I've never seen the movies actually, but I love the cars. And my grandkids are getting to the age where they'll probably be watching the movies, so I'll watch it along with them when I can. And I'd like to see what the characters are on these actual cars, but I know the cars well, and I'd like to introduce these to you and just to say a word that these are all fantastic for kids. They're all very durable cars. Most of these, as you see, are Carrera, uh, and I'll get to the other ones in a second. But they're very great for kids to race. Most of them are one piece, except for the Bernoulli Indy cars. Those might be a little bit more fragile. And some of the cars have wings. I would remove the wings, but the rest are just one piece. They don't have the rear view mirrors, so you can race them, bang them up, and they can withstand quite a bit. You'll be surprised. So let me get to the cars. This is starting back in 2007. Tyco first introduced, from what I know of. Now, anything I say in this video or any of my videos, please know that I'm no expert. I've done some research, but if you know of something else that exists and I'm not mentioning it, let me know, because I'd like to know. Or if you'd like to correct me, feel free to leave a comment. And I'd like to be aware of different things that are out there. Yeah, back in 2007, Tyco released in their first series called the Neon Nights set. Sorry, these two cars. There's Lightning McQueen, which you'll see he makes a ton of appearances, and this is his first that I know of. And there's the Doc Hudson car, and these were set cars. And there was also another set that came out a little bit later, about 2010, that features dirty copies of these cars, where they got like muddy. And so those aren't in this video, but those are out there. And then in 2010, also, there was the London City Raceway, which came out with Francesco Bernoulli. And there were also another set with it was called the Tokyo Street Race, and that featured Lightning McQueen, a Tokyo version of it, a Japanese version of it, and a Tokyo MATER towing truck. And so those aren't featured in here, but those were made available by Tyco. So they made two versions of each of this, and the Bernoulli, and then the MATER, and then the other Tokyo McQueen. So that was the extent of Tyco's versions of it. And then slightly after that, Carrera started coming out with their cars. This is a Carrera first of the Dynaco Cruz Ramirez. It's a 1/50th scale. And this was there were also other cars in this Carrera first series, Lightning McQueen, and I believe that might have been it. They might have made another car from that. But then they made a ton of the Carrera Go for the Disney Pixar Cars series. There's Chick Hicks, Lightning McQueen, which this is the Rusty's version. This came out in several different versions. I'll get to that as I get along here on the different versions that came out. But there must have been about 8 different Lightning McQueen version cars that came out in all different sorts of styles and lighting and things like that. There's Max Schnell with his nice German colors. And then this is what I was talking about with the McQueen, the Lightning McQueen. This is the Rocket Racers. And these came out together with Jackson Storm and Lightning McQueen, where they have the little rocket lighting on the back, and when you go on the track, they'll light up and look like a rocket ship blasting off. And by the way, these can race good on any 132nd, 143rd, any Carrera first, 124th, as long as it's analog, or if you have a tech slots or something where you can run analog, these will run great on them. And I'll put out another video if you want to see where these cars can run perfectly fine on a 132nd scale track. There's this is Security Finn McMissile, which there's also another Finn McMissile who doesn't have the lighting on top. This is a security car, so the lights flash as it goes. It works well, and it's a nice effect. Kids love that. Now here's the Carbon series, which there's also, like I was saying about Lightning McQueen, coming out in different forms. They made this Carbon series, which you could see the black coloring of it. And these are nice because they have what's called a ground light effect. The bottom of the car is clear, and when the cars go, you can see a glow underneath the car as it goes along the track. And that's a big hit with kids. Turn off the lights and watch the cars go around the track, and they love it. I love it. Hey, so that's a nice feature. And there's different versions of those that come out. There's with silver, and different characters have those. So this is just a sample size of what Carrera's come out with their Go series. And of course there's Tokyo MATER, who's a real tow truck. I'm sorry, not Tokyo MATER, it's just MATER. And you can see they all have their eyes, which make them interesting looking characters. And this car will tow other cars. And that's it for the Carrera Go line. We get into the Carrera 132nd scale line. They did about 7 versions of these cars in 132nd scale, starting off with a Max Schnell, and there was a Lightning McQueen. This was in 2011 they did this. Max Schnell, and they did a Lightning McQueen this is the Rusty's version, but there was, alongside with Schnell, there was a piston cup version. So that had come out, and that's not pictured in this video, of course. And then in 2012, Francesco Bernoulli was released. Now these are all the cars I'm showing you are all digital cars, but they're also released in Carrera Evolution, the analog version. So you have your choice. And of course, if you get digital, you can race on an analog track. So that's Francesco Bernoulli. And that, like I said, I would take care of him if you're giving it to kids, because that's breakable, as most Formula One cars are. So then, a couple years later, it was around 2017, they released the Dynaco Cruz Ramirez, along with this Rusty's version of Lightning McQueen. And then there was, well, I skipped over a car. I want to get to that in a second. 2018, the last so far that has been released from the Disney Pixar Cars series is the fabulous Lightning McQueen. And he may be the last release. I hope there's more. It would be nice, but I guess they've gone through all the characters that they've gone through. It's been about 5 years now, so that's probably the end of the line. They've moved on to other series for kids. But those are fantastic cars. But the one I'm saving for last here was released in 2016, and this is Neon Lightning McQueen. And this is, to me, one of the most unusual cars, one of the best cars in my collection, and one of my favorites. And all for the fact that this also has the ground light effect, as does the Carrera Go versions. But this is the only car in 1/32nd scale that I'm aware of that has that ground light effect. So this is very, very nice. It's the only car that I can race on my digital track here. So this is great. My grandsons love them, and very nice looking car. And if you know of any other cars that have that ground light effect, let me know. I'm interested, always interested to know if I'm missing out anything, if I'm overlooking anything. Give me a notification, a ring, whatever, and a message below, and let me know. And I'd be glad to entertain whatever you have to say about those. All right. I know there's other. Carrera released at least another car. It was a C-Class Mercedes that they call it the X-Ray, and that was an Evolution analog car, and it was like an all see-through, so you could see the working inside the car. So I'm assuming the lights would be, if it had headlights, it would have been normal headlights and not the ground light effect, but maybe it had ground light effect. But if you know of anything else, let me know. And I hope this has been uh, entertaining for you. And if if it causes you to pick up some of these cars or any other outstanding weird character cars, that's great. And let's keep this hobby going. All right, and I'll see you next time with another episode. Thanks for watching.